The GoPro Hero 11 Black is going to need a serious design overhaul amongst a ton of other things if it's going to stand out. If GoPro get this wrong, they could well be left behind everybody else. The last few GoPros have always arrived around the end of September, give or take a week or two either side. And now, by all accounts, could we be getting the new GoPro a little bit earlier, considering DJI apparently are going to drop in the DJI Action 3 in the middle of September, which is only a couple of weeks away from the publication date of this video. And actually, what I'm hearing is the DJI Action 3 is going to go back to the old version, the kind of rectangular GoPro-ish version, so forget about the little cubey one. That could be gone due to the heat melting problems. Well, we might not be getting any new GoPro in the next couple of weeks, and might be until the end of the year, according to GoPro CEO Nick Woodman, who says, at the end of 2022, we plan to increase our hardware offering from the two product types we have today, Hero and Max, to 4 distinct camera products. So we should be getting the Hero 11 Black, so right, but what about those other cameras? This is what he had to say about that. We think it's very important to build very differentiated, specialized solutions, what a mouthful, for different use cases to appeal to entirely new group of users. Now, what does that mean exactly? Does that mean we're going to get a GoPro Pro in the same way that Apple releases, like we'll say the Apple 14, which is coming, and you'll get the Apple 14 and the Apple 14 Pro. Let's say it's going to be called the GoPro Hero 11 Black. Now, here's my wish list, and there's a lot of things inside here that there's going to be a lot of problems for GoPro. First up, the GoPro needs a redesign. Its body, it's dated looking, it's just a bit, and it's kind of getting left behind by revolutionary-ish designs by DJI. The Action 2 camera was amazing looking, although if they're going back to the other thing. Either way, I think the GoPro Hero 11 needs some kind of redesign. Better low light stabilization. So the stabilization on the GoPro, more about that in a sec, it's really, really good. But when it comes to low light, kind of dusk or dark, the stabilization starts falling apart. That's the way it's designed with the algorithm, because of it's electronic with code and matrix stuff. So that needs to be improved. Now, keeping with stabilization, currently the GoPro Hero 10 Black is Hypersmooth 4.0, which is incredible. I mean, this thing is a gimbal killer. You don't really need a gimbal if you've got a GoPro Hero 10 Black. The stabilization is that good. So history would lead us to believe that you're probably going to see Hypersmooth 5.0, which at this stage, I'm not really sure what else they can do with Hypersmooth 5. I mean, it's phenomenal as it is. So is it only going to be one of these things that's just marketing spin, where we've got the latest version of Hypersmooth 5.0? And then you're like,
it's not really as anyway better than the other one.
Is that going to be an issue? Because GoPro are kind of a victim of their own success, which leads me on to the next point on the wish list. The resolutions are a big thing. Currently on the GoPro Hero 10, we're got up to 5K 60, which is phenomenal on a camera that size. However, where else can they go? Are we going to see 5.7K, which is a step up, but it's not a huge step up? We're going to see 6K. Maybe will we see 8K 30? I know you love my THs. Will we see something like 8K on a camera that size? I don't think we will, simply because there is no way those GoPro batteries could put out enough power to suck in a long, 20-minute 8K video. I don't think that's going to be possible. And even if they could, then what about the heat? Because the GoPros get incredibly hot, particularly those higher resolutions, like the front screen turns off if you're doing the 5K modes, all that kind of stuff. Unless they introduce new batteries, which they're not going to do because they introduced new batteries recently. No. Unless there's a complete redesign, see what I'm talking about here, redesign, unless a complete redesign here and they rethink the thermals on the internals. Basically, they need to find a better way of keeping it cool. The one thing I would hate though when you think about this is these other GoPro cameras that Nick Woodman has mentioned. Maybe you won't get everything in the GoPro Hero 11 Black. Maybe you won't get those super slow modes, but they'll go in another one. And then you might get photo in one and you won't get it in another. I hope they're not going to cannibalize their overall GoPro model and just dilute it into other cameras just as a quick cash grab. I know they're saying, the GoPro's like the Swiss Army knife of action cameras, which it is. It does photo, it does video, it does slow motion, it does time lapses. But we're used to all of those. So unless they put them into separate cameras and still keep them in the main one. You know, they're lesser cameras essentially. Maybe you just buy a photo GoPro or a time-lapse GoPro or a slow-mo GoPro. Yeah, that is kind of worrying. Something else that's worrying though is that GoPro are running out of headroom to build something insane. I just really think they're going to have to possibly reinvent the wheel here. Otherwise, it's the same old camera and the same old release cycle. I know you can kind of make that argument for a lot of manufacturers out there, but I think the GoPro action camera as a whole is overdue an upgrade. And here's the thing, I think we would all agree with this. If they just made this one change to the GoPro, I think it would be enough to keep us all happy. It's just one simple change. Well, maybe two. Forget the stupid dongle that GoPro forces you to buy if you want to plug in an external mic for audio, and that's really important. Have a mic port. Have a mic port. Cover it up if you want to make it waterproof, or just give us the option of having a mic port. I know the mic dongle is a bit of a cash cow, but as a customer experience and a user experience, it's a pain in the... And give us a little cold shoe mount on top or on the side of the GoPro. It might make the case a little bit bigger, but the case I've got slightly bigger over time. It's not going to be a deal breaker. Happy customers everywhere. Why are you waiting on the GoPro Hero 11 Black? Why? Has it got something, or do you think it will have something that the GoPro Hero 10 doesn't have, or other action cameras don't have? What are you waiting for? Is there a secret ingredient that you think, yes, this is what I've been waiting for the last 5 years. I'm finally going to buy the camera. Because remember, the camera is only as good as the story you're telling. Good cameras don't tell good stories. You do.